Hello, it is the start of another week in our fourth grade class. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mariely Sanchez and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2024, and it is the start of week 32 in this 39 school week year of the 2023-2024 school year. Anyway, I just finished the day with my students and I'm getting ready to go to the dentist because over the weekend as I was flossing, a little part of my tooth came out and it's starting to bother me. So I'm gonna go get that taken care of. And let's see, I always don't like going to the dentist. But anywho, let me show you how our day went by looking at our classroom screen for today. This morning I started with this screen for my homeroom class, and as you can see from today's agenda, we didn't get to comparing good and bad. They actually needed a little bit more time to work on the chronology organizer that they did with the Why Does the Moon Change Shape? And that's because we had a fire drill this morning. But I did have my ketchup and pickle slide that I saved as an image, and I inserted the image into my classroom screen. And just by doing the spotlight shortcut, which is Shift and S, it takes up the entire screen and I can still use my classroom screen. And I just exited out of full screen. So let's go back to full screen. So as you can see, this is what we ended up doing. And I have my teams. The little turtle was a little bit over, but I decided right now that I wanted to accumulate all their points to the end of the week to see which team had the most points at the end of the week. So it'll carry over to tomorrow. And then this is my block 2, which is my ELL students. And as you can see, we got through everything in our agenda, which is fantastic. It was so good. And we even had time to spare, which was amazing. And this is how they're doing also with their teams. So here's what my homeroom was working on after they did their ketchup and pickles time. They were reading a passage. This is an excerpt from the overall bigger passage, but they ended up reading the whole passage on their own. But for this excerpt, they needed to go ahead and fill out their chronology organizer. And I kind of gave them a hint as to the first, the 6th, and the 9th event. And then on the back, as they were reading, they needed to accumulate a list of different chronological order transitional phrases or keywords so that they can be on the lookout for that. So that was my homeroom. With my afternoon class, this is the passage that we read, which is an ELL for beginning or beginners. So we read about rediscovering Egypt's past, which is the discovery of King Tut's tomb. And then we answered some other questions, as well as having them fill out the information that was missing. So I scaffolded this for them because I saw some of them were still struggling with finding it on their own. So I did give that so that they can use the passage to complete it. And that group just finished going over comparing good and bad and completing the little grammar test. For this particular grammar test, I used the resources that the bilingual department put together in the PowerPoint for this particular unit. So we watched a couple videos and we also completed some word wall game and an IXL comparing adjectives activity. So this is that PowerPoint, and this is the first video we watched, which was on comparing with good and bad. And this one again, another one to show them the different ways that we use comparative adjectives. And this is another one which was really good because it was interactive and they participated as a class. And then we did the word wall activity where the students, I was spinning the spinner, and then different students will raise their hand so that they can give me a sentence with whatever word it fell on. So for example, if it fell on the word worst, they needed to give me a sentence with that word. And then what I would just do is I would eliminate that option so that we can continue. So that is the word wall activity that we were working on from the bilingual department PowerPoint. And then this was the IXL. So I just went to use adjectives to compare. And then I had students come to the board and find which of these two best completed the sentence. So here we're comparing Nurse Strickland was a lot blank than Dr. Walter, kinder, because we're comparing two, and the students will go ahead and practice doing that. So that is what we did. And we also watched this nice little fun YouTube video where she was going over good, better, best, and bad, worse, worst. Then after that was when we were doing the grammar test. So the students left with a better understanding of using those superlatives. All right, so that is all that I have for Monday. I will see you in a few short seconds for Tuesday. Hello, everyone. It's the end of the day, Tuesday, and I'm here. I finished preparing for tomorrow. It's the end of the day. And I'll give you a rundown of what we did today. First, by showing you our daily screen from Classroom Screen. So I started today with my block 2, and this is what our screen looked like. We spent a lot of time with ketchup and pickles because students were working on getting some incomplete work finished. So I did have the ketchup and pickles slide right here on the screen for them so that they can finish their assignments and then work on iReady and Imagine Learning. Then we went ahead and reviewed the vocabulary by first going through the vocabulary section of the PowerPoint that's given to us by the bilingual department. This one has a video on what is archaeologists, which students watched, and there was also a video on evidence, and of course illustrations, sentences, and questions for students to engage with the vocabulary. And then we ended up playing this quiz show, I should say, on the 8 vocabulary words so that the students can practice the meaning of the word. So I had different students come up to the board and choose the answer. So the study of the way humans lived long ago, that's archaeology. And students will go through this at 2 different times. I think halfway through the game, it would give them an option for a bonus round where they had to follow different cards. And they tried their best to find or follow the 200-point card so they can add that to their overall score. So this is a really nice interactive word wall game that helped the students review the vocabulary. So that was using the PowerPoint that our district provides through the bilingual department. After that, I went ahead and I showed this one. Let me go ahead and full screen. This is the sheet that I put together for the students. It goes over each word and provides cognates for 6 of them and gives the definition. So then after we practiced our vocabulary and reviewed it, students got a vocabulary map similar to this. This is my example for all 8 words. And since they're my ELL students, I gave them the definition and the synonym. And all they had to do was write a sentence using the word and a picture that goes along with the meaning or what they wrote in the sentence. So this is what I created as my example for archaeology. Here is document, era, evidence, expedition, permanent, tremendous, look at the little person, and the last one is uncover. So that is what my block 2 was working on, and they actually needed a little bit more time to get through these and make sure that they had finished their vocabulary map. So because of that, we didn't get to our common and proper nouns. So that is what I am moving for tomorrow for my block 2. Now for my block 1, which I had after lunch, we worked on this particular agenda, and as you can see, we finished everything. Students started by getting their version, the advanced version of Rediscovering Egypt's Past. So we annotated the text, we looked at the text features, and then students worked independently in answering the questions on the back and filling out the chronology graphic organizer on how Howard Carter was able to find King Tut's tomb. So that covered this, and this. So then we went to our writing. With our writing, we were reviewing comparing good and bad, which I was supposed to do since last week and yesterday, but we ran out of time. And then after that, we went over common and proper nouns. So in order to do that, I took the students to vocabulary, and I first showed them the parts of speech vocabulary lesson. We listened to the song. It was very catchy. And then we looked at the nouns lesson and listened to the song. It's a little slower. The other one was more of a bop. They really liked it, so they want to listen to it. So I'll show it to them tomorrow again. So for that lesson, I gave them this review that goes over common and proper nouns. This side focuses more on the proper nouns. And then on the back, I gave them minute number 18 from Grammar Minutes, which is an ebook from Creative Teaching Press that I have. So here we needed to circle 10 nouns and then categorize those 10 nouns between whether they were a person, place, or thing. So that was our writing grammar lesson for today. That is what we worked on, and I'm very happy that I got through most of it. I'm really finding that with the classroom screen, daily screens, I'm able to stay on top of what we need to do and get through it, and the students are engaged. I have less, problems with behavior unless they're working independently, which I did, but that's when I go back to their team points in classroom screen and use those team points to determine how many smiley faces I put in their reward jar and how many points those teams that are ahead of me get in Dojo. So far, so good. And I'll keep you posted on what happens tomorrow. Hey everyone, same day, but now I'm in the car because I forgot to tell you that today I also worked on organizing the middle drawer of my teacher desk because it was a royal mess. I was piling it with a whole bunch of stuff, and I used these acrylic organizers that I got from Amazon. I didn't use all of them because they didn't fit all in the drawer, but they were the good amount of height that I needed. So I organized it, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Now I'm going to use some of those organizers to organize the other side top drawer that I have because it's a clutter mess in there too. So when I do, I will show you a before and after, just like my middle desk drawer. Okay, now I'm done for today. I'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday. Hello everyone, it's the end of the day, Wednesday, and I am super exhausted. We just finished a pretty lengthy faculty meeting because it was another testing meeting where we needed to be trained on the upcoming state tests, which is the final one for this school year. Our fourth graders will be testing on Monday, May 13th and Tuesday, May 14th, which is in a few short weeks. I believe it's like 3 weeks. So I'm back in the classroom to let you know how our day went. I started this morning with my homeroom, and this is what our daily screen looked like. So here's our daily screen with our agenda for today. And as you can see, we actually got through everything in our agenda. They started by working on iReady, and then we reviewed the vocabulary. We completed the word wall game. They did the vocabulary map activity, and we ended the class session with abstract and concrete nouns. Now, for me, in reviewing the vocabulary, what I did is I had my PowerPoint with my daily slides, and this one is for Wednesday. So I had the vocabulary all ready to go, and I did the vocabulary words in the same style that I've done it in the past. I gotta be honest, I don't really do this with every single one of my units, but it's something that I do want to do for the future so I can already have it ready to go. But these are our words. So as you can see, I added a GIF, and I have the definition, the sentence, the synonym, and the antonym so that they have an understanding of each word. So we did archaeology. Here's document. The cat is hilarious. Era, evidence, expedition, which is really cute, permanent, tremendous, and we have uncover. So those were the words. And then I had the students work on the vocabulary practice sheet, which I'll just show you right here. This one is completed. I gave the students an opportunity. I think it was like 7 minutes. No, more like 8 minutes. I gave them about 8 minutes to finish both sides. So on one side, they had to match the word to its definition. And on the back for funsies, they had to complete the word search by finding the word. So then I had students come up and, complete it on the board. So each of these is done by a different student. As you can see, some of them put smiley faces and hi and hey. But I should say, before we actually did this particular activity, we did the word wall activity in our bilingual slide that I did with my ESOL students. So we went over the words again here, and then we did the quiz show that I showed you yesterday. So they went ahead and they completed the quiz show activity just like my other class did. Then they got this practice sheet on abstract and concrete nouns, where in the first couple of questions they needed to underline the concrete nouns, and then the other ones the abstract nouns, and then they needed to write 2 sentences, each sentence using a concrete and an abstract noun. And then on the back they had the grammar minute, and this one wasn't on abstract and concrete nouns, it was just on proper nouns, where I needed them to circle the proper noun in each sentence. So that's basically what my homeroom did this morning, and now I want to show you the classroom screen for my block 2. So for my block 2, here is their agenda, and let me go ahead and spotlight it. We did get to comment, and I don't know why it does that. You see what it just did? I clicked it off in the spotlight feature, and then it just went like that, which is not what I want. So in order to fix it, because it happened to me with the other one, I do that, and then I did this. Okay, so we did do the common and proper nouns. Actually, we didn't fully finish the common and proper nouns, so I know that tomorrow I'm going to finish the common and proper nouns and then do the abstract and concrete nouns. But this is the activity that the students had to do today. We are reading the anchor text, Rediscovering Our Spanish Beginnings, which is a Time for Kids passage, and then we worked on answering the question handout. This is that passage right here. We went over the text features and we read through it. And then the students and I worked on answering the questions. And again, I provide scaffolds and I help them because this is my ESOL level 1s and 2 students. So this is the questions that they were working on. This comes from Wonders for the ELL learners. So as you can see, the questions have scaffolds themselves where they have parts of the answers, and they just need to look back in the text to look for what best completes the sentence to answer each question. But the students really enjoyed learning about this particular topic. And then we started with the common and proper nouns, and we finished right here. And then on the back, they will identify the nouns and categorize them between person, place, or thing. Another thing that I did for my ELO learners was that I put the Spanish definition of each part of speech that we're currently working with. So nouns are sustantivos, verbs are verbos, adjectives are adjetivos, adverbs are adverbios, pronouns are pronombres, conjunctions are conjunciones, interjections are interjección, and prepositions are preposición. So that's what I helped them, and they automatically were able to identify, oh, that's just like in Spanish, except for the nouns, which is sustantivos. But every other word has a cognate that is similar in Spanish. So the group actually enjoyed, observing that and noticing that. So that's where I ended with my ESOL students, and that's all that I have for today, Wednesday. So I'll see you for tomorrow. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of the day, Thursday. And you can probably tell from my face, I'm exhausted. Oh my goodness. It's that time of year where stress levels are super high to the point that I'm even having nightmares. So when I'm supposed to be resting, I am not resting because I am not having a good time in my sleep. Yeah, that's a thing. But today I finished with my students and I want to give you a rundown of what happened today. I also want to introduce you to this beautiful stuffed animal. Yesterday in one of my classes, there was a moment where something happened and it wasn't fun for me. My feelings were really hurt. And, you never want to show that your feelings are hurt in front of the students, but sometimes we're human. So one of my students, well, actually a lot of them felt bad for what happened. So one of my students got me this beautiful, cuddly stuffed animal. Check her out. She is gorgeous. Wait a minute. She does have a name. Her name is Grace. Oh my gosh. I was trying to think of a name and the students were asking me, what is her name? You're Grace. You are Grace. Oh my goodness, so adorable. I'm really thankful for my students. I don't know how many times I have to say, I love both of my groups of students. They're such amazing kiddos. And I just feel super, super grateful and blessed for sure. And then on top of that, this morning, oh my God, there was an issue with one of my banks. They did not receive the transfer that was made electronically from one bank to the other. So there was a whole lot of money lost somewhere in cyberspace. But I just checked my account right now and the money made it. So I'm telling you, stressful. Anywho, let me show you the daily screen for today. Starting off with my block 2 daily screen. As you can see, we have our schedule, our agenda, and our team points. We started off with new team points because they are in new groups. My desks are in a new setup from what you can see here. I just have to organize them because the students just left. So they're all disorganized a bit. But this was what our agenda was for today. We started off with some iReady and Imagine Learning, which was good because we had a Fathers in Education Day event today. So some of my students went to be with their dads for a few minutes. I believe it was 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And while they were there, the other students stayed behind and continued working on their iReady. We finished our common and proper nouns, which I showed you yesterday, and then we went to the abstract and concrete nouns, which are the same that my other class did. And then we read Histories, Mysteries, which is the paired selection, and we did a comparing it to the anchor text, Rediscovering Our Spanish Beginnings. We didn't do the double bubble. We just didn't have time, and I just decided I don't need to do it. And we didn't have time for their personal narrative activity, which I did get to do with my block 1, and this is their particular classroom screen. So they read the Rediscovering Our Spanish Beginnings, they did the annotated handout, and they worked on their personal narrative. So this right here is the annotated handout. As you can see, there are different squares in each corner, and that's where these sticky notes come into play. Oh, you can't see the other ones, but there's green and blue line sticky notes. So what they do is they use the sticky notes to put on top and answer each of these questions that are on the sheet, the annotated handout. I want to say for the most part, I think they pretty much finished. They just need a few more minutes to finish the rest. But that was our reading for my block 1. And then for writing, we finally got to the personal narrative. So I talked to them about what a personal narrative was. They got this line sheet of paper and I showed them how to set it up with the proper heading. And they had to think about times that they have tried their hardest to do something. So they had time to brainstorm, write down their list, and then I had them get up and share their list with someone else. And then I had them sit back down and circle the one that they wanted to expand upon and write more about. So they convinced me to do this one. So that's going to be an interesting one. Tomorrow, I will be showing them how to do a storyboard to kind of put their events in order as to what they're going to include in their personal narrative story. So that is basically it. And yeah, I'm exhausted. I do want to go home. And tomorrow we'll wrap up week 32. It is now the end of the day, Friday, and I'm so ready for the weekend. I've just been feeling really exhausted this week. But today was a really good day with the students. This morning I started with my homeroom, which is my advanced learners. As soon as they came in, I passed out the annotated handout that I showed you yesterday so that they can go ahead and finish working on the last couple of questions. As they finished, they got their laptops and then they were working on the reading test for the current unit that we just finished, which is Wonders Unit 5, Week 5, on how can learning about the past help us understand the present. And students read about paleontology and about hoodoos in Badlands and how they form. So that was really cool that they were able to incorporate the different standards that we have been going over into that assessment, including the text structure, chronological order, the text feature of sidebars, and adages and proverbs. So there was also some author's perspective questions as well. When we came back from lunch, we went ahead and did writing, and we continued with our personal narrative. Today, I showed them a video of a Pixar artist talking about storyboarding. It was a really good video. And then I gave them a white sheet of paper, instructed them to fold it in half twice so that they can then make their own storyboard related to the story that they wanted to go ahead and write more about. Here is my storyboard, and I told the students, the frame 1 and the last frame. The frame 1, you're going to start your story. The last frame is, the ending, and then you need to choose 2 major events that happen in the beginning. I told them to do quick pictures so that they could just get their ideas of what happened in their story, so it can help them with the writing when we get to it next week. So what I'm going to do on Monday is have the students talk to another person and explain their story, talk about it before we actually start writing it. So I'm very excited about that. When I had my afternoon group, which is my ELL students, they were working on the reading assessment. Of course, they take the scaffolded version of that assessment. And here is a printed version that I printed with my color printer. So as you can see, they have the scaffolds on the margins. They have different visuals to help them access the text a little better. And then they had 5 questions to answer. So here's one question, which was on the sidebar information. And then on the next page, they had one on an adage, the meaning of it. This one was on author's perspective on paleontology. And then they had 2 more questions on the back, which was one on the sidebar again and another one on another adage. So that's what we worked on. And as they finished this, they went ahead and worked on their iReady and Imagine Learning minutes. And because they filled up their jar, so this is their reward jar. My other class is still working on theirs. Because they filled up their whole entire reward jar, they got 30 minutes of gameplay at the end of the day. One of my students was on the chess team, in the chess club. He wanted to play chess with me, so he brought his mat and his chess pieces, and we started a very cool game of chess. He's very good at chess. And the other students were playing on the computers. So other than leaving the classroom a little bit untidy and at times running around the classroom when they were not supposed to, they did okay, but I just have to reiterate the boundaries and the rules when we're having free time. So that is all that I have to share for this week, which was week 32. Next week we start week 33. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you, because you are capable of great things. See you next time.